Okay, so we've had a great morning. Hope everyone had a good lunch. Now, this is always my favorite part of the meeting, and through the years, Paramount's been blessed to have some great speakers, and such as Keith Jackson, David Basil, Billy Fryer, Al Miller, and Wynn Norwood. This year, though, I've got some exciting news. I've been interviewing for a new CEO of the company because, I'm getting to where I'm starting to phase out of this thing, and so I've got to have somebody that I know that can continue the vision. So, due to the importance of this position, this has been a very tedious and measured process of who I would pick to replace myself. So in searching and navigating the transfer portal and the NIL latitudes, I had a candidate in particular, his resume, that was submitted to me, and I got his bio and resume, and then next thing I know, this video shows up, and I was convinced that this was the guy. So this is the video.
Poise and confidence. Poise and confidence. When one of your teammates makes a play, I want to see 10 come tell him. Somebody makes a tackle a big hit, I want to see 10 go tell him. You can play like the racetrack. Now, you're ready. You are ready. Physically and mentally, you're ready. We hit this field, we hit it better than anybody in the country. I want the defense on the left, offense on the right, and all of a sudden, all together as one. Hey, sideline, you guys that are left, make sure freshman. I want you to be the best students in America. You help your teammates encourage. This is it, baby. This is the start. We come back to that side, 1-0. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Greatest time of their lives. So, how do you get a resume with a video like that and not go, man, I got to hire this guy? So, we were extremely fortunate to come to terms with this candidate, and he was graciously accepted our offer to join, and he wanted to come in and introduce himself today. He's the most qualified person I could think of to fill this position, and his credentials are of the highest standards, and importantly, he parallels the vision that I would have for the company and the future direction of our program. In searching for this candidate, I was looking for someone that could be a clone of mine and give a good impression in my absence in case you guys needed somebody to remember. So some of the qualifications that come along with this is, he's very goal-orientated and driven. I think that's pretty evident. He was geographically desirable. He was born and raised right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. He has a strong family pedigree. We both had girlfriends named Diana. It just worked out better for Houston than it did me. But even though I had a great one with Janet. He's an avid sports enthusiast. He understands the value of competition. He has three brothers. I have three brothers. I think anybody that grew up in that environment understands what competition is. So he seeks wise counsel and mentors from his mentors and associates, excellent recruiting skills, game planning, contingency awareness, critical path thinking, excellent crisis management skills, and most importantly, he understands the thrill of victory and the lessons from the agony of defeat. The next presentation from our newest team members should be done, give you two things to think about. First, provide the means and methods of your role and commitment to our team. And second, reinforce your patience, cooperation, and performance to the standards and methods of delivery expected by the company, your teammates, and our clients. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce our new honorary CEO, Houston Nutt.
Yeah.
Man, I've never had an introduction like that. David, you got me fired up. I appreciate that. I look at that picture, you know, look pretty young right there, David. But I hadn't had a team in 12 years, so I'm going to act like you're my team today. And it's a privilege to be here. I understand I got a little inside information from David, and he told me that y'all had a lot of success last year. And I had the privilege to coach a team at Murray State, and we went back to back. We were champions. We had a lot of Arkansas kids, and that we recruited, and they didn't know where Murray, Kentucky was located. But there's nothing like that team. But I want to tell you this, what I told them after that first championship. As we get closer to Christmas, and we go to the end of the year, it's next year, and everybody wants what you have. They're coming after us. And so we got to pick it up. So I want to share with you a little bit of some stories that I think you're going to see that we really do a lot of the same things. We have a lot in common with what we do. For me, I was born, as David said, in Little Rock, Arkansas. My mother and father coached at the Arkansas School for the Deaf. My mother was an English teacher for 33 years. My dad was a coach, basketball coach, football coach, bus driver, and those were some of the greatest days ever. We lived 3 blocks from the Arkansas School for the Deaf. And I don't know if y'all realize this, there's only one deaf school in each state. And so besides that immediate family, our playgrounds were with the deaf school, and they had to leave home at the age of 3, 4, 5 years of age because they were totally deaf. And that was like going away from college for little young kids. And so remember, when I went to those playgrounds, they couldn't say, "Hey, Houston, throw me the ball." They couldn't talk. So what I love so much about the deaf school is it didn't matter where you were from. It didn't matter the color of your skin. Didn't matter what street you lived on, how much money you had. As long as you could sign, you were in the family. And so quickly, we were signing at a very early age because my grandparents were totally deaf. My dad, to give you a little background, my dad was old school. And what I mean by that is, we go to Fordyce, Arkansas. That's where my grandparents lived every Sunday. And mom in the front, 4 boys in the back. I'm the oldest of 4. Dad be going. It takes exactly about 1 hour and 10 minutes to get to Fordyce from Little Rock. He'd be driving down that little 2-lane highway. And I don't know if y'all had brothers, but every so often we'd kind of get in a scuffle. A little fight. Even in the back seat. And my dad would handle it in this manner. Be driving along about 70 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 and ask the most important question. You want some more? He didn't know anything about time out. He knew about belt out or boom, boom, boom. But what I love so much about what mom and dad, they gave us time, gave us love, and I was this gym rat. The oldest 4, I was a gym rat. I had this job. We'd go on the bus, and after the game, the cardboard box had about 20 sack lunches. And my responsibility was to take the sack lunches after the game and hand out bologna sandwich to each of the players. Boy, I felt so good about that job. And there's always been 1 sack left. And I said, Dad, there's 1 left. You get everybody getting one, son? I said, yes, sir. That was for you. Well, I was so excited to eat this bologna sandwich. So thick, it was so awesome. And I felt this awesome responsibility that I got to hand out the bologna sandwiches. But there's one lesson that I was taught at the age of 9 in Leola, Arkansas. My dad played for two of the greatest basketball coaches in the world, Adolph Rupp at Kentucky and Henry Iba at Oklahoma State. My dad's roommate was Eddie Sutton. And so I'm this little gym rat that always was around the ball. And on the end of the bench in Leola, Arkansas one night, I'll never will forget, he got so mad at his team in the first quarter, he went to the referee and said, timeout! And he met his team before they got to the bench. He met them on the court, and they're in the semicircle of 5 players, and he went to each one, start with the first one, and he did this. Took 2 fingers across the forehead and said, no sweat. Went to the next guy, took 2 fingers across the forehead and said, no sweat. Went to third and fourth, and finally got to the one at the end he said, why? Why is only one person sweating for you? Why would you not sweat for him? It stuck with me. You got to sweat for one another. There's a reason why your company has had so much success. There's no doubt in my mind after I listened to David and watched and learned about what y'all do. It's about sweating for one another. It's about being able to do whatever it takes. Don't care who gets the credit. It's about this unselfishness. It's about this sacrifice that you made for one another. It's about an investment, and it's not easy. And so I had this dream by the time I was 9 years of age. I was this tall at about the 7th grade. I was going to be in the NBA, NFL, or both. And things were kind of going right according to plan. I had Bear Bryant in my living room my senior year in high school. I had Dick Vermeil, Frank Broyles. I had all of them. They were all coming to offer me a scholarship. And I was so fired up. Bear Bryant came that one Sunday, I'll never forget. He called and he said, hey, the visit's going to be a little late. We're down here visiting some relatives in Fordyce, Arkansas. And so what do my brothers and I do? We go in the backyard. There's an 8-foot goal. We start playing a little 2-on-2. Then all of a sudden that ball bounced off the rim and went over the fence. The fence was about 15 feet away from, we had this goal on this tree, about 8 foot, and we'd work on our Jerry West and, Elgin Bay, working on our moves and all this. And all of a sudden, when that ball bounced over, there he was. Paul Bear Bryant, houndstooth hat and everything, tall guy looking down over that fence. I said, Coach Bryant, I didn't know you were there. My brothers and I, we've been waiting on, my mom has supper prepared. We're ready to go in for the official visit. He looked at me, that houndstooth hat, looked down over that 6-foot fence and says, finish the game. I said, Coach, you really don't want to watch us play. We're just playing a little best of 7. It's just 2-on-2. My mom has the food ready. He looked at me again. He said, boy, I said, finish the game. We finished the game. And he walked in. He says, Mr. and Mrs. Bell, I got 4 scholarships for 4 Nutt boys. I was going to Alabama. Lo and behold, the next week, here comes Frank Broyles. He comes in, Southern gentleman. My mom has roast beef, mashed potatoes, homemade rolls, apple pie, and he's so thin. And every time my mom would ask for a second helping, he'd say yes. So that taught me a lesson about recruiting, because my mother loved when somebody loves her food. And so I know he was full. And my mother says, Coach Broyles, would you like another slice of apple pie? Immediately. Oh, yes, ma'am. And if you don't mind, write down the recipe, because I want to take it home and give it to Barbara. I leave there. Now, remember last week, my mom says, you're going to Alabama. He leaves our house, and as soon as he walks out the door, says, you got to go to Arkansas. I said, last week, Mom, you said I'm going to Alabama. And that's how good a salesman these guys were. They're so good, especially when it comes to food. But fast forward, for the first time, my name wasn't called. I was always picked first in every drill, every Pee-wee pickup game or street game. I was always picked first. Went to Little Rock Central, won championships. For the first time, my name wasn't called on draft day, and it was athletic depression. Depressed. And I never will forget in Stillwater, Oklahoma, just pulled up, and Jimmy Johnson's coming around. He'd been jogging. He comes up, hey, I hear it didn't go too good, Houston. What are you going to do now? I just got back from Atlanta Falcons tryout camp. Didn't last about 24, 48 hours. And I was going to give Coach Johnson a good answer. Hey, Coach Johnson, I'm going to keep working. because I know I'm supposed to be in the NFL, NBA, or both. He said, okay, well, until that time comes, you'll be in the athletic dorm. You'll be over the freshmen. This will be your job. You'll be over the freshmen. You're going to make sure they go to class, make sure they're in study hall, make sure they're on time to their academic meetings, make sure they're in the weight room. And I said, yes, sir. As he walked away or jogged away, underneath my breath, I said, who does this guy think he is? This guy didn't have one hair out of place. He had consort hairspray. He's jogging. And little did I know, if I would have said no that day to that $1.65 an hour job living in a dorm, as he was paying my last 3 hours to graduate, he had 50 resumes on his desk. So that very first week, right before conditioning test, all these little freshmen were in my dorm room. 7 kids around my little bed. 17, 18 years old. Coach Nutt. And I literally had to look back. That's the first time I was called Coach Nutt. Oh, that's me. Coach Nutt, what's Coach Johnson going to do to us tomorrow? And I saw these little guys' eyes that were looking at me. They were so ready to listen to every word I had to say. And I knew that night I was supposed to be a coach. That $1.65 an hour job, all of a sudden, what didn't mean that day, that didn't bother me at all. And at the end, we get ready for that first game, Jimmy Johnson in the staff room. We had Tony Wise, Pat Jones, Dave Wanstad in the staff room. I'm sitting in the back. And that's what grad assistants do. I sit in the back, make sure there's Coke, make sure there's water, make sure there's chalk, when the days we use chalk. And he said, we didn't have one freshman miss an appointment. We didn't have one freshman pull a fire alarm and kick out a window. That credit goes to Houston. And I punched Pat Jones and I said, what did Coach Johnson say? He's bragging on me. He said, you did a good job with the freshmen. Really? I couldn't wait at lunch. I couldn't wait to go tell Diana, who was my girlfriend at the time. We just been married 40 years. I couldn't wait to go tell her. I said, Diana, you ain't gonna believe it. Jimmy Johnson bragged on me. And sometimes the ones that love you the most, they pour cold water on you. And she says, are you talking about that $1.65 an hour job? You talking about that job where you live in this boy's dorm? I said, Diana, listen, Jimmy Johnson bragged on me. She had things like a washer or dryer. She had things like, she was a geologist. She already had a checking account. She had a refrigerator. She had real life things. She didn't understand about a $1.65 an hour job, living in a dorm room with all boys. How could you love this job? How? It can't buy milk and bread. Are you sure this is what you want to do? Yes, God, that's what I want to do. So I'm here to tell you, every job is precious. Every job is precious. David can pick a lot of people to come work for him. Picked you. And Lou Holtz, I'm a very fortunate victim of circumstance, because things that I see on this screen are the same things that the greatest teachers taught me, starting with my father, about sweating for one another, about a commitment, about an attitude, a gratitude. Jimmy Johnson was enthusiastic. He had so much enthusiasm, even on the worst days. Lou Holtz was a disciplinarian. Tough. I got to share one story about Lou Holtz that to me fits exactly what we're talking about in here today. 1983. I've been with Jimmy Johnson for 3 years as a grad assistant. $1.65 an hour job. I said, Diana, we're going to go work for Lou Holtz now. And her first question, full time? No. Part-time, pay, full-time job. What does that mean? I got a full-time position, but part-time pay. Lord help us. She didn't understand it. I go to University of Arkansas. I'm responsible for the fullbacks. Lou Holtz, every day at practice, we go to practice, we go eat, we come back in a room, and in that room, he'd run the projector, a 16 millimeter, sounded like this. He's running the projector back and forth. And he smoked this pipe, and I can smell it now. It was Captain White. And only one made the noise was Lou Holtz. He did all the corrections. He had a legal pad of all the corrections. And let me give you an example of what it sounded like. Walk into a meeting room after practice. We got through eating. We come in there. I got a knot in my stomach because all I could hear is... That's Lou Holtz's pipe. Who's coaching the fullback? Coach, I'm coaching the fullback. Fullback moved the wrong way. Fullback did not step in a 6-inch. I thought you wanted to coach. Coach, I do. Well, get it done. I could have picked anybody to be doing what you're doing. I want a football coach. Went home that night and told Don, I says, boy, I tell you, this is rough. What do you mean? What's wrong? I thought you had a full-time position, part-time pay. I thought you were excited about that. Well, I am, but it's just, come on. You can do it. Okay. Next day, here we go. Same thing. Go to practice. 2-a-day practice. Come back in the meeting room. Who's coaching the fullback? He knows who's coaching the fullback. I can assure you. He knows. Fullback did not take a 6-inch step. Fullback did not give 100% effort. Fullback went the wrong way. Seems like he's just getting on me the whole time. One night, I made a terrible decision sitting in the back. That's what grad assistant said. After he went through who's coaching the fullback, fullback went the wrong way, and he asked this question. Have you ever gone over that play with that young man? And I blurted out instantly. Coach, I went over that play 500 times. He stops the projector. When Lou Holt stops the projector, and a puff of smoke goes up, you're in deep trouble, y'all. I'm sitting in the back, got quiet. What did you say? I said, Coach, I went over that play like 500 times with him. Obviously, you're a very poor teacher. Because I know how smart he is. And what's so significant about the number 500? Why not 1,000 times? Why would you go over 2,000? Why not 3,000 till the job's done, Mr. Nutt? Not calling me coach anymore. But that lesson right there showed me. He said, what you see on film is you. You're responsible. You got to be accountable. Everybody has a job to do. We live in a world where they say, I confess, it's your fault. It ain't my fault, it's your fault. Can't do it. I wish I had a dime for every time I went to school. It would be Boise State, Ole Miss, Arkansas. It'd always be one person. Coach, why are you getting on me? Why am I getting on you? Because I'm going to make you a really good football player if you'll listen. A lot of people can't take constructive criticism. They can't do it. Coach, why are you getting on me though? You worry if I don't get on you. Here's what I want you to do tomorrow, Samuel. When you come to practice tomorrow, I want you to say, hey, Coach Nutt, coach me harder. Teach me more. Everybody, wants to be the quarterback, or everybody wants to be a CEO, everybody wants to be the president, everybody wants to be a head coach. And I tell assistants all the time, I want you to be a head coach. To be a head coach, you got to be the best assistant in the world. What you see on film is what you're teaching. I'm holding you accountable. I need you to be the best receiver coach, the best fullback coach, the best tight end coach. It's all the little bitty things. And there's nothing like it. Team. I miss so much the team. I miss what you have when I see y'all wearing Paramount. I miss the team. You know what team stands for, right? Team. Team. Everyone achieves more together. T. First letter T, together. It's togetherness. The one thing I can say, my 10 years at Arkansas, when we hit that field, I felt like we were together. I felt like we could go beat the Green Bay Packers. We were together. Then everyone, it's all of us. It's not I, it's not me, it's we. Everyone achieves more when we're all together. There's nothing like it in the world. There's nothing like a celebrated locker room. There's nothing like when you look over what you've done this past year. There's nothing like looking at what you've done, the work and the attitude that you had and the sacrifice and the investment. You went a little bit further, and look at the success you had. But now it's next year. Last year's gone. That's in the rearview mirror. We got to get ready to go again. You got to go do it again and do it better. You either get better or you get worse. You can't stay the same. You cannot stay the same. And the other thing, and I always try to tell the assistants who want to be a head coach, hey, look, if you want to be a head coach, if it's below you to serve, it's going to be beyond you to lead. You got to be able to serve. You got to be able to pick up. We're going, when we practice in Fayetteville sometime, I noticed that we'd hand out Gatorades, and the Gatorade bottles would be we had to walk 300 yards to go to the practice field, and I noticed they'd drink the Gatorades on the way to practice and on the way back, and they stole the bottles down. I made an announcement, hey guys, make sure that you pick up the Gatorade bottles. You're having our custodian do a lot of extra work for y'all. You know, I used to have to get water out of a water hose. Well, my players didn't listen too good because the next day I'm walking practice. Gatorade bottle, Gatorade bottle. Well, all of a sudden I stopped the Gatorade. I stopped it. Anthony Lucas, great receiver. He's coaching Plastic Academy right now. Hey, Coach Nutt, is there any certain reason why we don't have Gatorade anymore? Yeah, hey, Anthony, we got a lot of guys, not you, we got a lot of guys that refuse to listen. They wouldn't do the little things. I asked them to throw the Gatorade bottles away. So I'll tell you what, we'll just tell them to get the water out of the hydrant. There's a couple of hydrants on the way down, or they can get it out of the hose. But we're not going to have Gatorade for a while. There was a team meeting so quick without me. There was a team meeting so quick called by Anthony Lucas and Clint Sterner. Hey, fellas, pick up the Gatorade bottles now. And so the next day, going to practice, Anthony Lucas, hey, Coach, no Gatorade bottles on the ground. It's clean. Think we can get that Gatorade? That's good one day. Let's go. Let me see if you can do it again. Next day, Clint Sterner comes up to, hey, Coach, Gatorade, everything looks pretty good. We got it in a trash can the last 2 days. I said, I know, that's first down, second down. Let's go third down. Let's see if we can do it 3 times. And all of a sudden, everybody wanted the Gatorade. And so they started doing things right. And to me, it's just an attitude. It's an attitude of trying to always do things right. We always ask 3 questions. And I put these 3 questions up. Sometimes, you know, as you come in as a freshman, they think, well, it's a long time before I play. It's a long time before I'm a senior. And I try to tell a freshman, hey, freshmen, look at the seniors. And seniors stand up. And they've been here in the office like they've been on the team for a while. Hey, seniors, tell the freshmen how quick it goes by, how quick time goes by. And the seniors would look at them and say, hey, freshman, you'll be a senior tomorrow. And the freshman, yeah, right. But it happens so quick. So we'd ask 3 questions. Number 1, hey, can we trust you? Can we trust you to do what's right when nobody's looking? Can we trust you to be on time? Can we trust you to turn in your homework? Can we trust you on third name to be in that gap? Can we trust you after we win a game? When somebody says, come smoke this, or come drink this when you know it's a lie, can we trust you to be the best Razorback you can be? Number 2, are you committed? Are you totally committed? Coach, I'll be committed if you let me be like Darren McFadden. You let me be like Darren McFadden. Let me take the ball 30 times. Let me carry it. Let me run the ball 30 times. I'll be committed. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about commitment like, hey, I'll cover a kick. I'll pick up the Gatorade bottle. I'll protect. I'll do the little things. I'll do whatever it takes for this company. I'll do whatever it takes for this team. I'll do whatever it takes for this Razorback. You can ask these 3 questions to a dog, to your cat, to your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. Ask these 3. Can I trust you? Are you trustful? Are you committed? And then the last question that is so important. Do you care? Do you really care? Because I know this. If I can say he's trustful, he's committed, and he cares, I've got a good dog. I got a good teammate. I got a good company. I got a good team. It's those 3 questions every single day. I wish I had a dime for every time a player would come to me. Coach, if I could just be 6'4", if I could just bench press 400 pounds. Hey, listen, I picked you because of what you have inside. Take what you have and take it to another level. Take it to another level with an attitude. Take it to another level with a work ethic, with a passion, with ability to be able to say, hey, let me learn, let me listen. A lot of times our guys would get mixed up. I'd have to remind them, you know, the good Lord gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And I'd ask the freshmen, now why would God give you 2 ears and just 1 mouth? Why? And I'd go down to freshmen, they'd look at me puzzled. I don't know about to listen twice as much as you talk. Because some of you got this thing mixed up. You got it confused. You're talking more than you're listening. Please, you just got here. You just got to this team. You just got to this company. Please listen. Because there's somebody trying to lead you. Will you let somebody lead you? A lot of people refuse. Now, they got so much pride and so much ego. I don't have to listen to anybody. I can do it. Hold on. You just got here, freshman. You just got here. You don't really know what it takes to be a Razorback yet. You hadn't done 4:30s in the morning. I love to go with a 4:30 workout in January because this is where we made our team, and that's called the 4th quarter drills. And we'd go in the 4th quarter, it'd be 4:30, they're just barely getting their sleepies out. barely. Then the heat index in August would be 110, and we'd hit that second 2-a-days, and I'd come up to him, best days of your life. That's one player, Matt Jones, would always say, Coach, why do you say that? I said, it's the best days of your life. Coach, we're going through 2-a-days. We're going through practice. I said, no. He said, Coach, we gotta do this. We gotta run 16 110s. We gotta do these this middle drill. We gotta do, then after practice we gotta do these gassers. I said, no, Matt. It's not you got to. You get to. You get to come to practice. You get to put on this helmet with a Razorback on there. You get to be a part of this. And it's amazing today when you fast forward 15, 20 years, Matt Jones will always say at the end of his text, end of his email, hey, Coach, best days of your life. It was truly the best days of our life. You were right. Jimmy Johnson taught me a Bible lesson in 1979. It had 22 straight days of 100 degrees. And he'd come in the training room, we'd tape up, and that's when we did real 2-a-days. I mean, nowadays they don't even really do 2-a-days. And it was rough, morning and afternoon. We hit about our 15th practice. We're in the training room. We're just going through the motion. And Jimmy come in there bouncing. Hey! Well, we get to practice today, fellas. And nobody's saying a word. Yeah, right. Come on, guys. I mean, can't be that bad. So, go to practice. Jimmy Johnson says, hey, we'd get through stretching, and everybody's hating life. Hey guys, tell you what, let's everybody take our helmet off and put it on the sideline really straight. We take our helmets off, we line it up on the sideline, get back in our stretch lines. So I tell you what, guys, let's take off our shoulder pads and let's line those up on the sideline. So, he's going to let us go shorts today. No hitting today. This is going to be. We start to see a few smiles, just a few. Then he says, I tell you what, let's take off our pads, leave your shorts on. Let's line everything in a straight line and come back in your stretch line. We're going shorts today. We went from hating life to loving everything because it's getting better. We're going shorts today. Calls us up and he says, hey, do you really believe? Do you believe in this program? Yes. Really believe in it today, Coach. We're going shorts. No? I'm talking about, do you really believe it? Yeah. Will you follow me? Yes. He walks us out of the stadium. We're following. We said, where are we going? Walks us out of the stadium. Remember now, we've already had 15 practices of heat. We hated life now just 2 hours ago. We're walking it. We're following it. Where are we going? We're not practicing. Well, he takes us to the swimming pool, the university swimming pool. Can you imagine 120 guys that hated life so much that went from frown and hating to in the cool water, hitting a volleyball, jumping over. And Jimmy Johnson, you love it? Oh, Coach, we love it. Thank you. Went from hating life to loving life in a matter of just 10 minutes by simply taking off pads and going to the swimming pool. Now, the next day now, he got it out of us now. And he told us up front, I gave to you. I gave to you. Now, guys, you got to make a deposit back to me. And we had a great practice, though. Great practice. It's the little things. Are you trustful? Are you committed? Do you care? Will you let somebody help you? Sometimes these 17, 18-year-olds, they think, I can get your mom. No, you really can't. We got the map for you if you'll listen. We can take you where you can't go by yourself. And then what I love is by the time they get to be a junior, a redshirt junior, senior, now they got the locker room and they're helping those freshmen without even the head coach, without even the CEO. They don't need me. They have the locker room. When our seniors had control of the locker room and they held everybody accountable, that's when we had our best ball. That's when it was what it was all about. Barry Sanders is a great example. At Oklahoma State, I was an assistant. He was 5'6". He had 12 sisters and one brother. All his life he was told there's no way that you can make it. You're too small. That's all he ever heard. You're too small. That's all he ever heard. Junior high, same thing. High school, same thing. Had only 1 or 2 scholarship offers. Got to Stillwater, Oklahoma. We offered him late because somebody backed out. We were so fortunate. He was a yes sir, no sir. And if you watch any highlight of Barry Sanders, he always, every time he scored, he handed the ball to the official. Like he'd been there 1,000 times. It wasn't me. It wasn't about, hey, let me have it. Great example in Holiday Bowl. Pat Jones, the head coach, tells me, go get Barry Sanders. He has 1 more touchdown. If he hits the 5th touchdown, he'll break the all-time Holiday Bowl record. I go say, Barry, Coach Jones wants you to come back in one more play to get the record. He looks at it and says, hey, Coach, let Gerald was his backup, Gerald Hudson, let Gerald take it. No, Pat Jones wants you to break the record. Let Gerald have it. Please, let him have it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I love about unselfishness and a sacrifice that would do anything for his teammates. And that's what I love. I tell you what, I miss so much. What I miss so much is for 12 years not having a team, it's relationships. It's the relationships. And you don't realize sometimes when you have your team like you have yours today, you don't realize sometimes every single day what you're building. You're building and you're building. And when you get away from it, and I've been away from it for 12 years, man, I miss those relationships. And you miss that. And some of the things that you said to these players, I hate, Coach, remember that day you came to my dorm room when I was getting ready to quit? I said, yeah, I think I did. Coach, I was getting ready, I was packing my bags at 1 in the morning. You came to my locker, you came to my dorm room. And you said, you're not going to let me quit. I said, no. I can't believe it. I mean, and you stayed. Well, that guy today is still playing today. His name is Jason Peters. He's still playing today. He's in his 20th year of NFL football. He was going to quit one night at the University of Arkansas. He's from Queen City, Texas. He was going to quit. And it's amazing. He brings that up that he was on defense when we moved him to us. I said, no, you're going to go, you don't like he's having a hard time with the defensive coach. I said, I'm going to move you to tight end. This guy grew into a tackle. He's about 340 pounds now. And he's been at Philadelphia, he's been at the Dallas Cowboys, now he's with the Seattle Seahawks. But he goes back to that one day. Coach, remember when you came to my dorm room? Because you cared. And I might have quit that night. I had my bags halfway packed. I stayed. So I want to encourage everybody to stay. Stay and go hard. Great attitude.